Hello everyone, I'm Priya Sheth and a very warm welcome to the second episode of Super Shippers. In this series, we speak to some of the leading names in the D2C sector and talk about the role of crucial enablers like logistic tech companies in the growth story of these brands. Today we have with us Aakash Anand, who is the co-founder of Bella Vita Organic, to talk a little bit about the success story of the brand, the booming D2C segment, as well as the role of logistic enablers. Now, for all those who don't know, Bella Vita Organics is a popular D2C brand that focuses on creating high quality, organic, and eco friendly products. To know a little bit more about the brand, let's deep dive into the growth story with Aakash. Thank you very much for joining us today, Aakash. You've had a really interesting journey with Bella Vita Organics. So tell us a little bit about what did it take to reach here?
Thanks, Priya. Glad to be a part of what coverages your story is doing. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, obviously. Bella Vita Organic is a story of just 3-year-old brand that we've built. We started in September 18. I remember 7th September 2018 was the first order that we received on Amazon. It's been a great journey. I think what has contributed for such a success for us has been the fact where we've been able to create products and value propositions for consumers with with great price points, brilliant quality, and the promise of Ayurveda in a bottle. We've obviously uh, taken care of the we'll obviously use the Indian D2C landscape, help of Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa, etc., to be where we've reached. And I think transparent marketing has also been a key, factor for us to reach where we've reached today.
Right. Thanks for that, Akash. I'm sure it's been a great journey with a lot of learnings. But when you look at the whole D2C segment, it is crowded. We're seeing lots of players in the D2C space. So tell us a little bit about how you've ensured that Bella Vita stands out amid this crowd.
That's a great question, because we're seeing brands come in day in and day out. One thing we made sure from, I think, month 3 or month 4 of our business was to be different from the rest in a way, to be very similar to the age old brands that we see. To name a few, if today you look at a Forest, you look at a Kama, you look at a Biotique, you look at a Himalaya, you'd realize that these legacy brands have their own manufacturing units, right? Similarly, when you compare Bella Vita Organic today to a lot of other brands who've been very successful and a lot of new brands that are springing up, the key difference is we love to call ourselves a farm to face or a farm to skin Ayurveda brand. So we are in control of everything from the ingredient selection to our formulations, which are built in house, to our manufacturing, which is done in house. So when you actually flip the label and turn towards the back of the product, you'll realize that marketed by and manufactured by is the same company. Whereas when you look at other brands, which are coming up, other brands which have been successful, you'll see two different names in marketed by and manufactured by. And the key and the curse of the business is that a lot of the manufacturers are the same. So you'll have 3 popular brands with the same manufactured by at the back. So the idea to keep ourselves different is to be in control of everything we do, to give people Ayurveda in a bottle, and to have that to have that control over our quality. That's been the stark difference for Bella Vita Organic, and we continue to do so with other House of brands as well. So every single business that we are acquiring or brand we are acquiring has their own in-house manufacturing units. So where a lot of companies have been able to build successful brands, we are building a successful brand with successful products to ensure the lifetime value of a consumer is there for the next 25, 30 odd years. We need to become a legacy company.
Right, very well said. Farm to face, that's an interesting concept out there. I want to talk a little bit about how you've built that connect with your consumers because not too many people know or flip over the label and look at the intricacies of made by and marketed by. But, there is an external appeal that customers really connect with. And of course, as a brand, you've really worked on that over the last couple of years. So tell us, how do you build that connect with your consumers?
Our connect was due to a few factors, Priya. The biggest one being our transparent marketing. So, we haven't had any celebrity, any major influencer till now. Obviously, we are now taking that down that route soon. You will actually see me in a lot of our marketing videos, performance videos. You'd see my sister, Ashima, who started the brand. You'll also see a lot of our employees in our own videos where we honestly talk about our own products. We show how the products are made. We invite our consumers to do factory visits. We put our brand story, our product story on our packaging. There are a lot of direct connects with consumers. So we have a very strong customer experience team in-house. So we have an in-house call center of 100 plus people where we ensure that every single customer is spoken to, is told about the brand, is told about the products, is spoken to, is explained about everything we do. So that entire personal connect is very, very important for us to build with the consumers. And I think that's been great. I mean, to an extent where till today, I'm very active on our social media handles, actually seeing what the consumers are saying. If there's a complaint, what are they saying? If there's an appreciation, what are they appreciating? Is cross-selling happening? Is upselling happening? So that, all that happens through our personal one-to-one connect with our consumers.
Right, of course, customer is king. And when it comes to customer satisfaction, there's also another angle to it, which is delivery of products. And to ensure timely delivery of products, there is a lot of scramble in terms of getting it to the right logistics partner and areas within the whole logistics chain to ensure that the customer receives the product in its original form. So tell us a little bit about how the logistics space has evolved over the couple of years that you've been operational, and any challenges that you see as well.
Well, logistics, I think, is one of the biggest challenges for any D2C brand out there, because the one thing a customer is impatient. A customer, and take you or me for an example, you might order something today and you'd be anxious to receive it as soon as possible, right? Kab aayega, kab aayega, kab aayega. You'll keep
I know we're tracking the shipments at all times.
Absolutely. And that's where, if you see today, you have companies like Zepto, Grofers changes to Blinkit, where they now are committing a 10 minutes delivery and burning a lot of money on doing that. So consumers are now very impatient, and that's why the logistics has to be a very important part. In fact, I remember when we started, our average delivery time used to be 4 to 7 working days. Now it's come down to 48 hours across the country. Now we are trying to figure out how to ensure customers get deliveries within 24 hours. And the plan for next year is to ensure customers get deliveries within 8 hours from our own D2C platform. Amazon is already solving this problem for us. But if you talk about a pure play D2C, I think people like logistic players like Picker, Shiprocket, etc., are doing a fantastic job in helping us achieve that scale.
Right, you've been working with Picker, as you mentioned, for quite a while now. So tell us a little bit about what your experience has been working with them and how you're looking at taking to the next level.
So Picker has been a fantastic, tie-up for us. We have a great sync with the organization. So to say that our entire supply chain now is handled by Picker. So that also includes replication. So we've been able to stock our products in about 7 states, and that's all happened through Picker's warehouses, through their model of ensuring that our products are replicated across the country and customers even within 48 hours. Um, the great thing about working with an aggregator like Picker, especially, is one, there's a brilliant customer interaction team. There's a great NDR team. So a lot of times customers are not being able to connect with the logistics partner. So Picker ensures that the customer connect is made very, very flawlessly and very quickly. And it's all about customer experience. And I think it's a great story which has happened with them. And they've got, especially, I think they've got a new, program coming up, which we are doing a pilot these days. I won't take the name, but that actually helps you in identifying customers who might end up doing an NDR, who might not end up taking a shipment. So that helps you reduce your returns and reduce your costs as well.
Right. I also want to understand, when you look at, scaling the brand and taking into the next level, are there specific factors that you see, or you would look in, in a logistics partner, or for basically scaling the brand and taking it to the next level? Any tech specifications that you're looking at, any other kind of experience or additional inputs required from a logistics player?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things, since Sahil, my co-founder, also joined me recently, what we're working on is on building our tech in sync with our aggregator, with the logistics aggregator, because it's very important for us to build the right tech so that consumers have complete transparency on where a product is, how soon is the product reaching them. If there's any disruption in the delivery, the customer should be contacted ASAP. So a customer needs to be one-on-one with their product, where it's reached, when is it coming to them. A customer wants a quick update. And that's one of the biggest problems that people like Picker, aggregators like Picker are helping us solve with technology in times to come.
Right. Akash, I want to talk about 2022 and what the road ahead looks like. If you could tell us a little bit about what your key pillars of focus will be.
I'd like to answer that question, Priya, while not simply talking about Bella Vita Organic, but while talking about our entire house of brands model, the IDAM house of brands. Our key focus for the entire year going to 2023 is to create consensus brands for consumers and value products that are with them in every phase of life. Um, for an example, the chocolate brand we recently acquired called Me So Good is giving consumers a chocolate which is premium in taste, premium in quality, but at the price points of maybe a Cadbury, right? Similarly, Pet Veda, the pet brand we acquired, is giving consumers quality pet products which are chemical free, which are sulfate free, paraben free, which no one in the country is doing till now. So the idea here is the key pillar to driving our growth is to actually build sense making products for the consumer, is to spend less money on marketing, but more money on product, ensuring the consumers get the best for what they pay for.
I want to talk a little bit about categories and the diversification that you've been looking at. Specifically for Bella Vita, can we expect any more categories of launch, and what would be, the primary focus areas for you in 2022?
So in 2022, one of the biggest launches in Bella Vita which we are doing is going to be Ayurveda infused makeup. So we just launched our kajal very recently, and we're doing a huge makeup line of about 25 products in Bella Vita Organic, which infuses the wellness of skin foods with cosmetics. So, for example, you can have a foundation which is also hydrating, right? So I won't talk much more about it, but we will be expanding into a very big color cosmetics line fused with Ayurveda.
When we talk about the D2C space, specifically, looking at the kind of launches that are happening, it is a crowded market. We are seeing a lot of players out there. Of course, the investments also into businesses have been significant, primarily because a lot of experts have coined this decade as the decade for D2C in India. So run us through, what kind of incremental investments are being made to strengthen the brands to be able to take on this next stage of growth?
So, I'm happy to say that Bella Vita Organic has been a brand since day one. We've been profitable. Even the last fund round we had, we still have money in the bank because the company is not really burning money that they have. But going forward, I think by the mid of this year, we are already in talks to be raising a very huge round. The entire idea now would be to separate us from the rest and go huge on marketing. So one thing which we haven't done so far is spend a lot of money in brand awareness. So I think the next few months or the next year for us would be with a huge round, spending a lot of money on our brand awareness for Bella Vita Organic.
Akash, I want to ask you one final question before I let you go on the learnings from the business, because I know that you've grown and built this brand from scratch. Tell us a little bit, as an entrepreneur, what would be the top three learnings, or perhaps the three mistakes that you perhaps made in your journey as well?
I have three P's for that: patience, product, and positivity. Patience, and this is my advice to all entrepreneurs out there, patience is very, very important. Yes, sense of urgency is very important for an entrepreneur, but at the same time, patience clubbed with the right product. So, me as an entrepreneur would be able to wait for 3 months to ensure the correct product gets formulated and gets launched. Whereas I see in the D2C space a mistake a lot of entrepreneurs end up making. And recently I've experienced loads from these, this was our earlier learning, but I'm seeing a lot of entrepreneurs make the same mistake. Their impatience to launch maybe a brand or a product line leads them to launch an average product, which would backfire in the long run. Patience clubbed with the right product is very, very important. Positivity. As an entrepreneur, we think about quitting every day. Every day is a challenge, right? Every day there's a new challenge for the entrepreneur, right? So positivity is very important for every entrepreneur out there, um, to be able to surpass those multiple thoughts of quitting कि अब नहीं हो पा रहा, and being positive and growing your brand.
All right, Akash, thanks so much for your valuable insights. And I'm sure all your learnings and the kind of words of wisdom that you've given all the people watching us today are going to help them in their business journeys as well. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's really been a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Priya. Pleasure.